Want to trade with Rithika? Join Chase at www.laductrading.com/chase.
Hope you had a great week. So last week we had a little bit of digestion into that gap fill, and then you can see that we have bounced higher. So the market still technically is headed to the upside compared to what we discussed in the last 2 weeks. So we are still kind of looking for that, probably the 6.865 level. So I think we are still headed higher before we kind of have this digestion into 6,400 level. So I still see upside for the market. So I am still looking for a pretty bullish week here on QQQ. You can see here we came back to fill this gap, and now we're broken downtrend, and now we've gapped higher. So we could come retest this level before we head higher, but I think as long as we stay over 593, we are headed into that 615 level here on QQQ. So bigger picture, you can see here I have a trend line here and a trend line here. So when we hit the top of this trend line, we could look for a short-term downside or digestion in the market because it is getting pretty overbought, and the dollar did have an oversell bounce, but again, you can see here we are rejecting at the previous level of resistance. So we could have a little bit of selling that could continue higher. IWM, again, we did have a little bit of digestion, but yeah, I see something like this for IWM, except I don't know the depth of the sell-off, so I have two different levels. So let's see. Right now, this is the trend line on IWM. This is the upside trend line. This is the downside trend line, and you can see here, this is my Fib retracement. So as long as we hold this level, we could continue into this 254 to 260 before we kind of have that digestion. So let's see which way we progress on IWM, and the yields, again, we are pretty sideways. We are still stuck within this channel, so it's not really doing much. And wicks, again, you can see here we rejected this trend line, and now you can see as long as we stay below 17.22, the market is likely headed higher, and we would need over 17.3 to continue to the upside into 20 and 22. And over here, you can see if we break this level, which we've kind of been sideways for a couple of months here, if you break 15, then it's very bullish for the market, and wicks has a lower level at 11.88. So yeah, keep an eye on all those technical levels. With that being said, we have AMD, and again, we had this last week. We went up, rejected, but we're sideways, and we had an inside week. So keep an eye on this. I really do think that once we break 163, we do have a gap to fill here. We could have a nice upside move into 170, 175. I do think this could break to the upside. So keep an eye on that. As long as we stay above 150, AMD should continue to be a good swing. China is continuing to do well, and unlike BABA, JD is a little bit lagging. So if it can continue higher and break 36, I think JD as AMD is also a very nice swing, and I think it is going to continue into this 40-44 level. So keep an eye on that. KWEB is, you can see here, this is the trend line. We're trying to break out of it. Again, bigger picture, we are not even at the 0.5 retracement. This is a level of support that we gapped over. We are having kind of strong moves on Jen. I think ultimately KWEB is going to continue to this 53-54 level. So I do think having KWEB stocks is good. And last but not the least, CarMax, and you can see here, we've broken down. So I think that this is going to continue to the downside. This does have support, so we could stay sideways, but this will eventually come down into this 38.61 level. So you could keep an eye on CarMax for a continued short. This is support, so once it breaks support, it will come lower. That's all I have for this week. I hope you have a great day.
Join Chase to trade with Rithika and other experts. Subscribe to LaDuc Trading YouTube channel for more Wolf's weekly wave list videos and other content.